Hey guys, this is Caleb with DSLRvideoshooter.com, where it's all about making better videos, and today we're going to be taking a close look at the RodeLink Wireless Filmmakers Kit. I'm very excited to finally be getting to this review. After shooting the corporate video guide and using these exclusively for sound, I'm really excited to share my thoughts, some things I really like and some things that I'm not wild about. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump over to the bench. And just FYI, this episode of DSLR Video Shooter is being recorded entirely by the RodeLink system. So in another video, I think I might want to cover when to use a lav system versus a shotgun microphone, but that's for another day. So let's hop over to the bench, take a close look at the RodeLink Wireless Filmmakers Kit. First, we're going to go over what you get with the kit. So we have a transmitter, a receiver, our lav microphone, a little foam guy for the actual microphone, and then a cable 3.5 to 3.5 male for the actual receiver to transmit to your camera or whatever. I like how it's coiled. You can see how, small footprint this is versus my Sennheiser EW100. The cables are quite long and, makes it kind of a pain to pack this stuff. And while I'm holding this, just FYI, and keep in mind that I have used these kits, the Sennheiser EW100s, for over 10 years. They've pretty much never failed me. So I'm going to be kind of comparing this kit to these, even though there's a big cost difference. There's lots of things I like about this and I respect about them, but I also really like a lot of the features about the Rode. So for those of you who might be considering this kit, this is going to be a great video to kind of get some feature comparison, and it's something I have a lot of experience with. So let's move on to the actual units and talk about the differences and what's specific to the transmitter and the receiver. So let's start with the transmitter. On the top, we have our port for plugging in the microphone, a power button. You can see we're on a channel 1. And to mute the unit, you kind of slightly hold for a couple seconds, and not really even a couple seconds, a couple milliseconds, but you can't just tap it. You actually have to hold it down for a little bit, and then the light turns red. The actual ergonomics of these, I love that you can stand them up, which you can't do with the Sennheiser stuff. And they are large and they look fairly substantial, and they are a little heavier. But the reason for that is the antenna is actually built into each of these units. Whereas this guy, you obviously have an antenna. I'm not smart enough to know if that's better or worse, but definitely makes it a little larger, but you're not dealing with any cables when you strip it down. Back to the transmitter, we have a belt clip. You'll see these two holes here. You can actually, in the box, you'll also get a second one of these hot shoe adapters, so you can put one on here if that's what you're into. USB on the side, and that's pretty much it for the outside. We're gonna go ahead and open it up, and these can be kind of difficult to open sometimes, and it's easy to forget which side slides. So Sennheiser got a door. These guys slide open, and the way I remember it is whatever side the button is on is what moves. So this back piece is going to slide, not the front. So you push down and pull to reveal our attenuator. Oh no, excuse me, this is the gain. I keep getting that mixed up between the two. So we have 0, plus 10, plus 20, and then a link button. If we pull down a little further, we have access to our batteries. So that is the transmitter. On the receiver end, we have our hot shoe or cold shoe adapter, which is really great. You'll notice it's round, it's not square. And this allows you to position this at wonky angles. So if I bring in a camera here, you can kind of offset it if you're standing, over here looking at the unit. So that's really, really slick. Well done, Rode. On the side, we also have the USB, our port for attaching our cable. On the top, it's a little different, power button. I have it on right now, and that displays the channel, battery status of the receiver and the transmitter, which is amazing, huge selling feature. Being able to keep track of your other batteries while it's on your talent is great. And then in the center, there's your actual levels. I don't like how if you wait a while, the levels disappear. I don't know if that's trying to help with battery life, but the levels don't stay on the screen all the time. You see it just kind of went to sleep. So you have to hit the power button briefly again to wake it back up. Other buttons, we have a channel select, and then we have the mute button. So you press it down, red light shows up here, and the red light shows up on the transmitter. Another amazing feature that you can quickly mute, you know, your talent or whoever's using the microphone. So that's awesome. If you don't want your talent to manually mute, or you're afraid they're going to bump it and turn the unit off or whatever, but what you can do is you can hold it down and you'll notice a little period show up right here after the 1. Now whoever has the transmitter can't mute. To undo that, simply hold down that button again. You'll see the period disappear. It's gone, and now the transmitter has mute control as well. If we open this one up, same thing, push down the button side with the button slides. We have our attenuator, 0, -10, -20, and the link button. So that's kind of a quick overview of the two. So let's go ahead and link these two units up as if you just gotten them out of the box. I love how it's very similar to like an Xbox controller. There's the 2 link buttons, so we just quickly slide these open. And I love how you can also mix and match. So if you have several sets, you can totally switch it up or link these with other Rode devices. So let me make sure the light's not on them. So you hit the link button. This is the receiver. You can see it's searching. And then we're going to hit the link button on this side. And since they're close together, boom, now they're both on 1. Really easy to work with. No need to deal with multiple channels or anything like that. So now they're linked up, we can now get them ready for use with our camera. Another huge feature with this, and what makes them really easy to use, is you don't have frequency settings really. So you can't go in here and dial in your frequency. On these guys, it does it automatically. And another feature that's really cool is it rides 2 channels at once, or 2 frequencies. Sorry if I'm messing up these terms for you audio guys. So that means if one channel or frequency gets weak, it can ride on the other one, whereas on this unit, if any of you guys have used wireless transmitters and receivers a lot, at some point you've run into the weak signal noise and you'll get this sound, and that's it cutting in and out. So I haven't had that at all with these Rodes. I've had other issues, which we'll talk about in a second, but they have been very good at keeping a strong actual signal between the 2 units. So that's a huge selling feature. So as for setting these up, it depends on your camera. If you have a great camera with a really good preamp, or you're using a preamp that you really trust and like, you'll want to keep these pretty low. So if we go to our transmitter, you don't want to go to +10, +20. You want to keep that at 0. And same with your attenuator. You know, if it's too strong, you can go down to -20, but 0 is probably a good bet, or -10. Now that said, most of us are shooting with cameras like DSLRs or mirrorless cameras, which is what I'm shooting this with. And those cameras have pretty terrible preamps. So this is where you want these units to do most of the work. So on the GH4, it's pretty good, but it's not fantastic. So I would experiment. I would start with 0 everything, and then maybe go +10. And your goal is to keep the camera level as low as possible. So on the GH4, -12 is as low as you can go. And I'm actually using a RodeLink to record this, and the settings I'm using right now is the GH4 is at -12, and I have the transmitter at 0 and the receiver at 0. And that seems to be pretty good. I'm getting levels around -12, so that's good, or -6, so that's acceptable. If anything, I might bump it down a little bit. So on Canon DSLRs and a lot of other cameras, you're going to have to amp these up, because these are terrible, horrible preamps in the camera. So I would put this as low as it'll possibly go. and then I'll amp it up. So I might do something like positive 20 or plus 10 at 0 on the receiver. So that would work really well. I've had good results with that. Now, if you have a camera with XLR or a preamp, you're going to have to buy this little adapter separately. So you're not going to get a cable like on the Sennheiser that has the XLR on it. So this is very simply a 3.5 millimeter to XLR. Very simply, plug this in, and now you're ready to rock with something like a C100, 300, FS5, whatever. Now the things I don't like are actually the cables. So let me take this cable off. This adapter is just fine, works really well. So these are super handy to have for several reasons. But this is the best part about the kit. Transmitter, receiver. These are kind of horrible. I could have gotten a bad unit, but I've talked to several people who also use the unit, and they've come and run into some same issues or similar issues to what I've had. So I'm going to show you a clip in a second of some problems, but this microphone, I don't know if it's the shielding or what, but there's a lot of noise, cable noise, but it's not just rubbing and cable noise. You know, this thing is, you know, makes a lot of noise, more than my Sennheiser microphones, but it's something with the shielding. So you'll actually get, if you take it like this where it's touching, or even bring two parts of the cable together, you'll get some really funky grounding sounds, and I've had some real issues. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut to me just moving the cable around, plugged into the camera, so you can hear what's going on. So there you go, it's pretty bad. And you might be saying, but Caleb, you're not going to use the microphone like this, all jacked up. You're right, I won't be, but what I had an issue with was near the, you know, somebody's belt or wherever they're plugging this in and using it. Often you're not running the cable to its full length where it's taut. So what happens is usually there's something like this, you know, or, you know, just two parts of the cable getting somewhat close together, and that would be enough to, you know, mess up the audio. So if we stop now and take a quick listen to a part of the corporate video guide, you'll hear on Corbin's mic some of those issues.
Right. You know, and if you're more of a high-strung person, more of an organized person, and more you need that, you know, specific detailed storyboard, that's fine. You know, you have to build your company based around who you are as an individual, and you have to take influences and ideas from other companies, but at the end of the day, you have to make it your own, and you have to develop your own voice. You know, I love that book, Steal Like an Artist, and
so you can hear it's just this. So that's really unfortunate. I did notice one of the microphones was worse than the other, but they both suffered. So what I experimented with, and let me pull it off my belt, this is a different unit. I'm using my Sennheiser microphone, so the microphone that comes with this kit, and I'm having no issues at all. The only problem I had was if I like took all this cable and wound it up, stuck it on the unit, and brought the microphone near the top. But that's never going to happen. You're never going to have all this in one place. Just keep in mind, you might have a couple issues with the microphone. Switching it out can be the solution. So that's one thing I didn't like. The other thing, as much as I love this coiled cable, one of these, the one I'm using on my camera right now, is fine, but this one just wigged out, and I tried attaching it to different devices and the same problem. Something is going wrong with the ground, I think. So if I plug this in, you'll hear this hum until I pinch right here. So I don't know if that's me connecting, you know, to contact somewhere that's working, but if I pinch it, everything's hunky-dory. If I release, even if this is screwed on all the way, I'm getting some problems. So I don't know what's up with that. So I'm not sure what's going on. I mean, I've used Rode gear forever, and I've had no problems with their cables on their shotgun microphones or anything else. So a solution to this, if you have that problem, I don't think you will, but if you do, sorry about the camera shake, I would go ahead and buy, you know, a third-party version. You can buy tons of these on Amazon or B&H. I've had several different models and they've all worked well. So those coils are great, and you can pick them up third-party. So in closing, if you are on a budget and you're looking for a really good wireless kit, this is going to be a fantastic option. You might need to spend a little more to deal with the microphone, but it could just be the units that I used or some other people use. So just do some tests, move the microphone around the units, see if you get any issues. If you do, you might spend another $30 on a microphone or something like that. All that said, I can officially say that these puppies are road tested. I've used them a ton for the corporate video guide and other projects. Corbin's actually taken them on the road and used them all over the place, and he also really digs them. So that does it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and as always, you can watch new videos right here at DSLR Video Shooter every single Tuesday and Thursday. I will see you guys in the next video.